Okay, this is our last little clicker thing that we did this week. So we've looked at 50 questions. I hope you're watching the videos so that you'll get used to using the calculator in all the different modes. And hopefully we'll all do really well on the EOCT, which is on May 22nd. So our first question says, which of the following is equivalent to 256 over 625 to the 1/4 power? And what I think the best thing to do is to put this into the calculator to see what the value is. And if you do that, the calculator tells you the value of this is 4/5, which we know the answer choice is 5. And we could choose C, but let's make sure that all these other ones don't also equal 4/5. So if I put Roman numeral number 1 in the calculator, remember that you've got to find the exponent button on your calculator, which is this button here, so that we can do the fourth root. And you have to press shift. So if I put the fourth root of 256 over 625 into the calculator, it also equals 4/5. So that one would work. Roman numeral 2, if I put the fourth root over 256 over the fourth root of 625 into the calculator, it also equals 4/5. So that would also work. If I put 256 over the fourth root of 625, that gives me 256 over 5. So that one doesn't work. And Roman numeral number 5, if I put fourth root of 256 over 625, that's going to give me 4 over 625, which is not equivalent. So that one doesn't work. So the best answer is Roman numeral 1, Roman numeral 2, and Roman numeral 4. Answer choice A. Number 2, what is the factored form of the following expression? Remember, factors multiply, so I'm going to find what multiplies to give me 9x squared plus 42x plus 49. So to get 9x squared, I would say 3x times 3x. That gives me 9x squared. And to get positive 49, that gives me positive 7 and positive 7. I can fill my area model box to make sure I get 42, but it works. Now the problem is none of those choices are there. Remember, if I have one factor that's exactly the same as the other, I can write it as a power of 2. So the answer choice is A. Number 3, if 20 employees enter a company raffle for a spa day, one winner was drawn. The remaining tickets went into a second drawing for baseball tickets. One winner was drawn. What is the probability that an employee wins baseball tickets? This will be event A. Given, that means it's conditional, so we'll use this formula. That they did not win the spa day, that would be event B. So, how many people can win baseball tickets and not win the spa day? Only one person can win, so that would be 1. And then B, the probability of B, how many people did not win the spa day? That would give me 19. So the correct answer is B. Number 2, the radius of a cylinder with a volume of 452.16 y cubic centimeters is found by the equation below. Which statement best describes 452.16 y? And I found this one difficult, so I went to the formula sheet and I found out the volume for a cylinder was pi times radius squared times h. And if I know the volume is 452.16 y, that's going to equal pi times r squared h. And if I want to solve for r like they already did, I need to eliminate the pi and the h. And what I see here is that h is the same thing as y because I have a y here and I have a h here. So I know that if I'm multiplying y times 452.16, and that's the same thing as h, the volume's got to be 452.16 times the height, because h represents height. 5, in the triangle below, NP is congruent to RP, so it might help if you mark that. PM is congruent to PQ. Determine the missing reason to the proof. Well, I'm missing the second reason right here. And it says angle NPM, so if I measure NPM, that's this angle, is congruent to angle RPQ. So if I go RPQ, that's this angle. So I have to find out, are those alternate exterior angles? No. Is it an angle congruent to itself? Those are two different angles, so no. Are they vertical angles? Yes. So the correct answer for number 5 is C. Number 6. If alpha is 38 degrees, so I'm going to put 38 degrees here, and x is 54 centimeters, so I'm going to put 54 centimeters here. What is the value of y? I want to find y. Now, so I'll go to the formula sheet, and I found the trigonometric relationships for the formula sheet. I know that based on angle 38, y is opposite, and 54 is adjacent. So that tells me I'm going to use tangent. So I would say tangent of alpha, which is 38 degrees, equals opposite, which is y, over adjacent, which is 54. And the easiest way to work this to me is make it a proportion. So I'm going to make this a proportion. When I see here, I'm going to multiply tangent 38 times 54. And I put that in the calculator. Might be a good idea to make sure your calculator is in degree mode. Tangent 38, close your parentheses, times 54. And I get 42.18, which rounds to be 42.2. So the answer to number 6 is B. Number 7, each statement describes the transformation of the graph y equals absolute value of x. Which statement correctly describes the graph of y equals absolute value of x plus 7 minus 3? Remember, when it's inside the parentheses with x, it's horizontal like x. And you have to change the sign so the positive 7 becomes negative 7. That tells me I need to move left 7 units. So choice A says I move left 7 units, and that's the only one. So that would be the correct answer choice. Number 8, what is the center of the circle given by the equation below? Again, I looked at the formula sheet and I found circle. Notice the formula sheet has the parentheses for the circle, so it's going to help if I group my x terms. So that's going to give me x, and remember I have to divide my x term by 2, so minus 4 squared. And then I need to group my y terms, so I'm going to group my y terms. So that's going to give me y, and take half of the y term 2, plus 4 squared. Alright, and all I want to do is find the center. So I've got to change the sign of the number with x, and that's positive 4. And change the sign of the number with y, and that's negative 4. So my center would be positive 4, negative 4, which would be answer choice C. Number 9, if the radius of the base is 6 units, so I'm going to put 6 on my radius, and the height is 8 units, what is the volume of the cylinder shown below? So I'm going to use this formula. Now remember, capital B is not base, it's the area of the base. And my base is a circle. So I know the area formula for a circle is pi times r squared. So that's going to give me pi times 6 squared, which is 36 pi. So I'm going to say my volume is equal to capital B, which is 36 pi, times the height, which is 8. And I put that in my calculator. 36 pi times 8. That gives me 288 pi. So my answer choice is B. And last but not least, number 10. If the center of a circle is R, the radius of a circle is 9, so I'm going to put 9 on my picture. What is the arc length? Now notice it doesn't say area, so we don't want to use the area formulas. Alright? Of QS. So I'm going to use my circumference formula, which says C equals D times pi, or R times pi. So I know my diameter is 18, so that's going to give me 18 pi. That's my circumference. And I've got to multiply that by the part of the circle. An arc is a part of a circle. So a whole circle is 360. And the part I'm looking for is 24 degrees. So if I put that in my calculator, 18 pi times 24 over 360, that gives me 6 over 5 pi. So the answer one is this, D. So make sure you're still looking over these. Do some USA test prep this weekend. Everything we can do so we can all pass that EOCT. Good luck.